Hi folks, this is Gaz from Radiant Silver Labs with another GUI tutorial. You know, I've done lots of these, if you look on my channel, very similar stuff, but they're popular, so I'm going to keep on doing them and hopefully someone can learn something. So on the right here is what I'm trying to build, and we're going to start right away by, this is Android Studio by the way now, I've moved away from Eclipse. So we're going to start by clicking on Layout and go to New, File. I'll just call this register.xml. Now I might get a Skype call in the middle of this from a client, so I'll have to pause it probably at one point, but until then I'm going to keep going and then I'll come back after as well, I think. So we have register, it's empty. Now let's just give it a relative layout. Well, that's strange. Anyway, I think it actually needs the first. You should be able to drag the first widget in. I mean, I've just done this, but it looks to me like actually you can't today. I tell you why. It's because I'm on that MNC. If you go down to a lower API, one that you've actually downloaded the SDK for, then that rendering problems goes away, and then I think you can drag and drop stuff. Right, so now let's drag a relative layout. Custom view. Okay, that's great, isn't it? Well, just click that, automatically add all missing attributes. I've never seen this happen. I don't know why, but whenever you record, everything goes wrong. But you know, you'll probably go through this yourself, so it's worth seeing. Well, you know what? I'm tempted to just copy from another file, the one it gave me, because as you can see, it won't let you do anything. But if I go into activity main, I just copy that into register, go to the text and just paste that. Now it'll be working. Yeah. So I'm not actually sure why that happened. You should be able to drop in something like at the beginning. Anyway, so we have a relative layout now. I've just deleted the other thing, so that's our relative layout there. And we go back to the design, and I'm going to make the relative layout fill parent. And I'm going to put everything inside it. So I'm going to put a layout, a linear layout in it, like that. And then I'm going to just drop a couple of things in. So first of all, let's just drop a couple of text views in, like this. And you can see that it's going down the way, even though the image makes it look like it's going horizontal. So it works. So what we want to do is begin by putting an image view here for this logo at the top, I guess. So find the image view. Should be here somewhere. There it is. Drop it in. I haven't actually done any Android GUI stuff for ages. I've been coding a lot, but on Android and Unity, but I haven't actually been doing a lot of stuff, so you can see I'm a bit rusty. So you put fill parent to the width and the height, right, which makes it fill the entire screen, and we'll, you know, worry about that in a minute. Now we need the image, which I can get from the assets, which I've put into another directory. Now I usually use bulk rename to get rid of the @ symbols and stuff, which I've already done. But I've got the logo here. I'm on the right monitor at the moment doing that. Copy it into here. I keep everything in drawable XHDPI, which I had to make because Android Studio's latest version seems to make these mip-map things. Now I'm not 100% sure how to use them. I think they're just for icons and stuff. So I still go ahead and make this one, even though I could probably just put them all in drawable because the OS will pick whatever it can find, but I'm stuck in my ways. So the logo is it's called logo 2x. You go back to this and you go down to source, src, click on that, have a look for your undrawables, keep going down till you find them. There it is. Right, so now we want say, I would say the top bit like that. We'll just ignore this back button for now actually. The top bit is what, almost half the screen. Let's say one, yes, not quite half, and it's less than half. Anyway, so we want another layout that can hold all of these text fields, and because they all go down the way, I'm just going to use another linear layout. I'm going to put that in the main one. As you can see, it's crushed out at the bottom because this is filling the parent. So we set this one to fill parent 2, which means they will both be fighting for space, but because I haven't used a weight yet, nothing works. So if I give that weight 1 and that weight 1, because they're both trying to fill the parent, they'll take equal amount of space. And that's actually kind of close to what we want already, right? But we want the bottom section to take up a bit more room. So let's say we change the top section to weight 2. That makes it a little bit smaller, probably about right actually. And the logo should be smaller than that. So if you go down to the scale type and go to fit center, or maybe not. Yeah, I just try these out a lot. You see, center will work. They all do cool things. Fit X, Y, fits it and stuff. But in this case, center will do it. Right. So we want to start adding the text fields. Well, the first row here actually has 2. So we want another linear layout in there so we can put them side by side. This is a horizontal one, which means they will go from left to right. So if you just stick I'm going to use the specific one, person name, because it's a first name. So I'll drop that in there, and I'll drop another one, person name, in, because again that's the last name. And you can see they've gone side by side. Now I've no idea why one is taking up more space than the other. That shouldn't really happen. But as you can see, we want them to take up roughly the same space. I would say the first name one is possibly slightly bigger than the last name one. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or not. But for now we'll make them take up the same space by going to fill parent again, same trick as we just done. We don't need to change the height actually, because heights on text fields are kind of standardized. Oops. So make them both fill parent and give them both a weight 1. So then they will both occupy 50%. And it seems to cut right down the middle of the logo, so it's probably correct. But if we did want the left one to take a tiny bit more, we could just change the weight of the second one to say 1.1, and it'll take a tiny bit less. For now I'm just going to assume that that's actually not what they want. And as usual, I'm not going to try and style these text fields until they come to me and say they need them, because it's usually an iOS thing and they probably don't even want it. So text, well, take the text out, that shouldn't be there. I'm going to put a hint in by going to hint and type first name, second one, last name, and we'll move it to text. We'll give all these meaningful names later. Right, so close up that linear layout. You're not going to need to add anything to that one, because we've just added those 2. We've added those 2 that we want. Now it's taking up the full thing. That's because it's on match parent. If you change the height, oops, to wrap content and take up only what you need. Right, so the next one, really simple, just 2 text fields that take up the full thing. One's an email address, so let's just get the email one. We'll drop it in underneath that one there. There's actually a black horizontal line, I don't know if you can see it, but it shows you where it will drop in. And that should take the full width, so just change the width to fill parent. And then just change the hint to email address. And another one, right? So now we just drag the password one in underneath that one. There you go. Change that to fill parent and give that a hint password. Got the garbage van outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but over my fans and AC, but it's bloody hot at the AC, so I have all the crazy cooling systems on. Now the top one is the same as the bottom one, isn't it, really? Date of birth and NHS number. So we could either copy that and paste it, or do what we did before. Well, I'm just going to copy and paste it. So you copy it like that with a right click, and then you just paste again, and then you get into this weird mode on the mouse where it's kind of stuck to it, and you can... That's quite cool, I never really looked at that. But you can position it, so again I'll place it under there. That's not exactly what we want, because this one should be a date of birth field. So first of all, let's just change the hint. And this one too. And now instead of it being just an ordinary name one, we'll change it to a date one, which I believe you can do somewhere in here. There you go, input type. Untick text person name, and just put date. And then this one here, we don't want it to be text person name, we just want it to be a number. So text, or just number there in fact. And that'll actually mean that when the keyboard comes out, when you press on it, it'll only show numbers and things like that. Well, I'm going to ignore that I for now, and we're actually close to being done already. This is how good the XML system is when you get used to it. So now we want this register button. Just go to an ordinary button. I'm not going to worry about the curved edges. Again, I think that's an iOS thing, and things are moving into being more square in Google anyway. And the client will probably appreciate that you do it the real Android way instead of mimicking iOS too much. It's easier for you too. So the background of this button needs to be green. Well, I've already cut that out actually. It's called button background green, and it's only a thin strip. It's only 6 pixels wide and 84 pixels tall, but that will not matter. So we go to background, I think. Yep, and then find button background green. There you go. And that'll fill the whole thing. And then you want the white text, obviously. So you just go to text, color, hash. Oops, it's a new keyboard this, and a new computer. Hash FFFFF, that's white, red, green, blue values. Change the text itself to register. And then now what we want is that thing at the bottom. Bloody hell, that was quicker than I expected. So take a plain text view. I'm going to use 2 here because I see it's on 2 lines. So just make that fill parent, and then go to the we'll just close that up because it's alright. Go to the text and just say, just type whatever they have, and we're going to leave the underlining until code because you can't do it in XML. Yep. And now we want that sort of aligned, so text alignment, center. Interestingly, doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, some of these things I get the wrong ones. Should be text alignment, clearly, shouldn't it? Really? Or maybe it's one of these ones. Gravity center. Nope, didn't think it would be, but this happens sometimes. You just got to find the right one. See, it is gravity on here. So we just click center horizontal on that gravity. Even though there's another gravity, that's a layout gravity, I guess. Well, I don't guess, I mean, it's telling you that. And then this is the other one. I find that a little bit odd, but trial and error it never hurt anybody. Now, in fact, you know, just duplicate that, just copy and paste that again. Put it in underneath and just change that text to right. Now we want a little bit of padding, I guess. Well, we want it to sit right, actually. So I'm thinking maybe this top bit take up a little bit more room. It's not taking up, actually, it's taking up a bit less than I want. So instead of 2, I'm going to put 1.5. Yeah. And to get these two all sit nice, what you could do is make them all height set fill parent. Yeah, so select them all with shift like that, and just change that height to fill parent, which will go weird for a second, but then if you keep them all selected and you press 1 for the weights, they will all take up equal space, and that means it will sit neatly the way you want it. Of course, these two things at the bottom look a bit weird, these two. So what I'm actually going to do is put them in their own linear layout. And any of you people who, you know, talk about overusing layouts and that, yeah, you can overuse a layout, but I mean, you should be allowed to at least make like your life easy yourself without trying to be a purist about it, you know. So I make a lot of layouts. In the same way I write, you know, code that is easy to read and write before I worry about optimizing it. So they are sitting 50-50 in there, and that thing I'm going to give it, I'm going to set that to fill parent as well, and I'm going to put layout 1. Oh, it's already got that, weight 1. So that is starting to look a lot better, isn't it? Let me try and get a bit more space here. So let's sort of look at it. Try a few different fonts as well. You can look at it from here so you can see how well it adjusts. It should look virtually identical on the large or normal phone. So this is a Nexus S, which is kind of old now, 480 by 800, but it's a great benchmark to work with. It's a very popular size a few years back. So let's go to the craziest one, Nexus 10, and it's actually gone landscape there, and you can change that by clicking that. So go back to portrait, and you know, within reason, it's pretty good. The problem being, actually, they're not really centerized in their own thing on a massive resolution like this. So inside that one, I'm going to put the gravity, the layout gravity, I'm going to try setting to center both. Yeah, as usual, doesn't do anything. Alright, change that, unset that. So we'll use the same trick as we did before, set them both to, God, I keep pressing that, it's an annoying button. Fill parent and give them both weight 1, and then, oh, I've already got it. And as you can see, they fill the linear layout perfectly. So, I mean, you wouldn't notice this unless you want a massive resolution, but that's the best way to find your problems. You can see it's the same there. So we'll set them to, what I'm trying to explain there is obviously that they're not filling that full layout. So you set them to height, fill parent, weight 1, and now they are. And these, well, they're the same, aren't they? They are filling it, but the text is not sitting in the middle. So in fact what I did before, when I went down to the here, center horizontal, you also want to tick center vertical. Right. So now on that crazy resolution it's basically working. You know, you might want a larger graphic and you might want to do other tweaks, but at least we know that the theory is working. It is scaling sort of to the percentage of the screen. Right. So first name, last name, email, password, date of birth, NHS number, register. Well, you know what? I think that's pretty much it. That, I mean, there's a few things you might want to pad and all the rest of it and try a few different things out, but that is essentially how to make a very simple register screen. Now you'd want to go through and change the names of these things and then use code to tap into them to get the value. So you could, you know, get that text field and go first name text field dot get text, get all that and pass it off to the server, who would then come back with a response and that you pass a GSON or something to work out whether you successfully registered. And I have done videos on exactly that on my page, so have a look for that on my channel. Just anything Android, maybe Android and GSON or Android and code or something. But thanks for watching, folks. That was a short 20-minute tutorial using Android Studio, the sexy new black theme. And thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more. Maybe tick like if you like it, maybe share it, but definitely check out the other stuff I've been doing on the channel with regards to Android and code. Okay, thanks again.